This video is going to be about credit cards. So are they good or are they bad? Well, first, let's take a look at the bad category first. Why some people would think credit cards are bad. So, one thing I'll go back to before I knew anything about credit or personal finances. Back in these days, I say I was a late teen, fresh out of high school. I was always taught, do not get a credit card because a credit card is bad for you. There was no explanation of why it was bad for me, but it was like, don't get a credit card because a credit card is bad. It could be assumed that it being bad was due to the amount of spending that a lot of young people do with credit cards. You don't want to get put in debt. One of the main things with the area that I grew up in poverty. So a lot of people look at things such as credit cards as a way to get into deep debt. Yeah, a lot of people look at them as free money, but also people who have matured and view them from a hindsight perspective, they view credit cards as something that's bad and a way to get in a pile of debt. So I understand why I was told to stay away from credit cards, but there was alternatives. A better alternative would have been to understand how to use a credit card and teach people how to use them correctly so that they don't get into a big pile of debt. So I understand why some people think that credit cards are bad. Also, you have people who are on a debt-free journey. I don't knock anyone who are on a debt-free journey. I myself, I'm also on a debt-free journey. That's smart, You don't want to carry around debt. You don't want to owe people. So I understand why people who are on a debt-free journey are anti-credit card. That's totally understandable. I would be that way too if I didn't know what I know now. However, when it comes to credit cards, there are a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of bad assumptions that go on with regarding them. A lot of people, they just view them as a big debt monster. Like, oh, a credit card is a great way to put yourself in massive debt. And when I hear people say that, that lets me know a lot of people are not aware of how to correctly use a credit card. These days, there are so many rewards that come along with cards that it's almost, you're almost doing yourself a disservice by not having one, or two, or three, or four, or however many you want. You're almost doing yourself a disservice because there are so many good benefits that come along due to these rewards that come with these credit cards. Like, there are so many. So the cons of not having one is, of course, you avoid not getting into debt, and a lot of people don't want to be in debt, which is totally understandable. Who wants to be in debt? However, when you look at it from a different point of view and you understand how credit cards work and how to use them, you'll understand the pros. And the pros are the rewards that come along with them. The pros are improvements to your credit score. The pros are building up your account history over time. See, what a lot of people don't understand about credit cards are you can use them to pay for your everyday expenses. Because we all have to spend money. If you're an adult, you're gonna spend money. That's just reality. You have to feed yourself, unless you eat for free, unless you're one of these special people in the world that just have everyone here to serve you like you're a king or something, and you just eat for free. If you're not on that status where you're just a king or a queen and everyone serves you and of that nature, even they probably have to go towards that. But unless you're on that level where you don't have to go out and find a way to provide for yourself or make money so you can have somewhere to live, food to eat, clothes to wear, bills to pay. Unless you're one of those people that you're on that king or queen status, you're gonna need money and you're gonna spend money for your everyday expenses. And why not put that money on a credit card? Because what it does is it rewards you in return for spending money that you're already probably gonna spend. Like, for example, a lot of people don't believe in credit cards, but yet they carry around a debit card. And I have some friends who do this, and I ask them, why do you use your debit instead of credit card? And there's really no right or wrong, but I just ask out of curiosity, and they say because the debit card, they're spending their money. And I say, okay, with a credit card, you can spend your money as well. You just get an early loan on your money. You're just basically taking out an early 30-day loan that you have to pay back. If you know how to pay credit cards off the correct way, which is you pay off what you spend every month, then you won't get into debt, nor will you have to pay interest on a card because you're paying off what you spend every month. That's the smart way and the correct way to use a credit card. So if you're doing those things and you're spending money every single month on your regular expenses, you are, one, building up credit history. Number two, more than likely increasing your credit score. And number three, you're reaping the benefits of the rewards that come along with these cards. For instance, the American Express Gold card. I had this card formerly. I had it for a couple of years and I loved it because every month they give you $10 to spend on dining for complimentary. So let's say what I would do, I would go to Cheesecake Factory, right? And I would get a meal that was around $16 and I would use my American Express Gold card. And I only ended up paying $6 for that meal because American Express refunded me the $10 back within a couple of days. So the meal in total was $16, but I only ended up paying $6 because American Express paid for the $10, which is cool, things like that. And more than likely, you're probably going to end up going to a certain restaurant like a Cheesecake Factory or Shake Shack or something like that anyway. So why not go? And even if, let's say you go and you purchase a piece of cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory, which I believe now, I'm not too sure, but it's probably around $9, I'm assuming. You basically get that for free because that $10 from American Express is going to pay it off. Now, granted, you only get this once a month, but still, that's a great deal. And there are so many other different benefits that come along with these different cards. And it's not just American Express, it's just about all of the card issuers. So there are great benefits to having a credit card. Does it make you less of a person if you don't have one? No. It doesn't make you less of a person if you don't have one. Everyone is entitled to their own beliefs, but there are so many great benefits these days that come along with having credit cards. And you don't have to do extracurricular spending in order to fulfill and get the most out of the card. You can just live your regular everyday life with your regular everyday expenses, and you could use that money on the card and then pay it off the next month, and boom, you're not getting hit with interest, you're not building up a pile of debt, and you're building up a credit history. You getting rewards in return, and there's a high possibility you're also increasing your credit score as a result. So when weighing the pros and cons of having credit cards, in my eyes and from my point of view, the pros always outweigh the cons. Look into getting a credit card.